Welcome to episode 151 of the Various and Sundry podcast. I am your host, Matt Harmon, joined live from the Vault Studio on the beautiful campus of Grace College and Theological Seminary by my good friend, my colleague, my co-host, and the man who has already put up his Christmas tree, John Scott Sloat.
Did I walk you through my wife and I's compromise on putting up the Christmas tree?
I don't think so.
So the compromise was I've always been a solid after Thanksgiving human, and my wife has been
Because you're a reasonable human being.
and she has been a after Halloween person.
Oh my goodness. So like
November
November
1.
1st?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so our compromise was after Thanksgiving, unless there's a good snow between Thanksgiving and Halloween.
Wow.
If there's a good snow that we agree on, we can put up the Christmas tree.
Okay.
That's been
right.
it's going to be known as the Slodian compromise.
Okay.
We've revolutionized marriage at this point.
I guess so. I guess our premarital counseling of the two of you has served you well. We don't typically have a chapter on when does the Christmas tree go up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see you worked through that.
Yeah. And it feels a little – when it starts snowing, it starts feeling a little bit more like Christmas,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think that's it for me is this, it's like either the parade needs to happen on the beautiful streets of New York or
Yeah.
we need to be cold and snow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty firm in my belief that it's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Does your wife have a strong conviction either way, or does she just sort of go with it?
She's just kind of gone with that. Like
Okay.
I think she could probably be talked into doing it a week earlier or so. The bigger debate in the past has been Christmas music. I am a firm believer in please don't play Christmas music before Thanksgiving, because now the spiritual Christmas music
You have a carve-out.
before Thanksgiving is discouraged but permitted. but the very secular
Jingle bells.
no jingle bells, no rocking around the Christmas tree, no baby it's cold outside.
But Silent Night? Yeah?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mary, Did You Know? You start listening to Mary, Did You Know in November?
Because she knew. The Bible tells us she knew. So I don't like that song. It's one of those Christmas songs that's pointless to me. Yes, she knew. Yes.
She was well aware.
She was quite aware based on what the angel had told her. Quite aware. So anyway, if you would like to contact the show and tell us about when you put your Christmas tree up, you can find us on Twitter at VNSPod. You can email the show, variousandsundrypodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and on YouTube. And John noted before we went on the air that we have not received recently a 5-star rating or a review.
A written review.
A written review.
I don't keep tally of how many ratings we've had week to week. But
I don't either.
5-star rating. I think it's like May since we've had a
Okay.
review.
Yeah, that's –
And here we are in December.
Exactly.
Oh, November, excuse me.
well, almost. We're getting there. We're getting
there. Next week.
Yes. All right, John, I think let's move on to some sports. It was a busy weekend in the world of sports. Let's start college football. Did you watch any college football this past week?
I did not.
Okay.
No. Although I keep an eye on scores usually.
Yeah.
So I have a sense of what happened.
Yes. All 4 of the top teams struggled in their games. They all managed to win, but they struggled. Yes. So
I saw TCU and oh my goodness.
well, the two biggest
Michigan.
strugglers were TCU and Michigan. Did you see any of the highlights of the end of the TCU game?
I did not. No.
Okay. So quick recap here. TCU is down 8. They score a touchdown with like 2 minutes left. Go for 2, don't get it. So they're down 2. They kick off. They force Baylor into a 3-and-out. They get the ball back. They march down the field. They have no timeouts left, okay? They have like a 3rd and 8 at like the Baylor, probably like the Baylor 35. So on the edge of field goal range.
Yeah.
Remember, they have no timeouts. They have about 30, maybe like 25 seconds left, 23 seconds left. This is third down and like 8. They run the ball. Don't get a first down. So the clock is running. They race their field goal unit out, snap the ball, guy kicks it through the uprights in the fire drill. It was remarkable. They win by 1, 29-28, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Also escaping on a last-minute field goal, the team up north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was following because that was happening simultaneously. Like that.
Yes,
those games were.
They were down 17-16 and kicked a field goal with 9 seconds left to win 19-17 over Illinois. Now they were missing several key players, so in fairness to them, and they lost their best running back, Blake Corum, Heisman candidate. He hurt his knee in the first half, came back for one play in the second half, and then they sat him the rest of the game. So hard to know what his availability is going to be. I'm assuming he's going to play next weekend against Ohio
I'd
State.
assume so.
But they did not look very good. And then in fairness, Ohio State, not their best performance. They struggled a bit. They trailed at half. And
who did they have? Maryland?
Maryland.
Okay.
At Maryland. They ended up winning 43 to 30. But that score doesn't tell you how close the game was. Ohio State was up 3 with very late in the game. They possessed the ball for a good chunk until about they kicked a field goal with like 45 seconds left to go up 6. Kicked off to Maryland, sacked him 2 consecutive plays. On the second play, it was a strip sack. The ball pops up into the air into the waiting arms of an Ohio State linebacker named Steel Chambers.
Steel Chambers.
Great name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
Who he caught the fumble in the air at like the half-yard line.
Feels like he's born to be a Steeler, doesn't it?
You would think. So he actually came to Ohio State as a running back and switched positions. He played both in high school, but switched over to play running back. So
interesting.
The other notable college football game, Tennessee got absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I saw that one this morning. Any idea what happened there? Was there an injury?
No, their defense is just terrible, and it finally got exposed. So they are officially eliminated from playoff consideration.
Spencer Rattler.
Yes, lit them up. So, of course, this upcoming weekend is the game, and it's in Columbus. And I think the initial spread was like I saw one place had 7.5, another place had 8.5. I think it'll probably stabilize around probably 6 to 7.
Okay.
So I have no idea what to expect. Both teams have played weirdly lately. Like they're not. Neither team is like coming in like in a groove, like really in a rhythm. Both have injuries at the running back position. Weather forecast is like mid 40s with like 15-mile-an-hour winds and a chance of showers kind of thing. So not the ideal conditions for a passing attack like Ohio State. So who knows? I will say that if Michigan does not have Blake Corum, their best running back, I think they're in pretty serious trouble. Though if they have their backup, David Edwards, he's pretty good as well. But in any case.
And are we going to be breaking down that game? Maybe.
Are you good with recording on Sunday?
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Okay, yeah. See, you're going to be out of town next week.
I leave Monday morning.
Yeah. So, we're going to have to do a virtual studio recording probably Sunday night, I think.
Probably.
To get that in. So, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Everything's in front of Ohio State here. I think now that Tennessee lost, there's a much better chance that the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game
makes it into
the playoff.
I was reading that.
There's still a chance. Now you can't get blown out. Like you gotta keep it close. Like it's got to be like under a 10-point game. I think either way too.
And the only place they would meet would be the championship, right? Yeah,
because they would move. They would probably end up being like seeded 2 and 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So they only meet in the title game. So yes, a lot of potential scenarios to break down for the college football playoff. But we'll let it play out. Another big game was USC beating UCLA, staying alive in the college football playoff race. If they win out, I think they're getting in. And they have Notre Dame this weekend.
That'll be a good game.
That's a big game. And then the following week they will have Oregon, I think, in the Pac-12 championship.
Be another good game.
So if they win those 2 games, I think they will get in.
Yeah, those are 2 quality wins.
And so if TCU wins out, they will get in. I'm not convinced they'll necessarily win out. And then you'll get an interesting little dilemma there as to who's going to make it in. Let's move on to the NFL. And what happened to your Jets?
Oh, my goodness. Well, there's so many little storylines. So I'll start on the defense. They played incredible.
Yeah, they held the Patriots to 3 points until the very end, yes.
Special teams gave up that touchdown,
yes.
not the defense.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
So they held the Patriots to 3 points.
Yeah.
Now, their field goal kicker missed a couple of field goals.
The Patriots kicker, yeah.
Nick Folk.
Yeah.
Who knew he was on the Patriots? So they defense played really well. I think we sacked Jones like 6 or 7 times in the game.
Yeah.
However, there's the other side of the ball with my least favorite Mormon.
I was going to ask if he was still your favorite Mormon.
I don't know what they're teaching in that religion, but humility is not part of it. After the game, he had the Jets' offense had 2 yards in the second half.
Yes.
2 yards. Zach Wilson's completion percentage was well under 50%.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad.
Yes.
It was very bad. And they asked him if he felt like he let the defense down in the press conference. How do you answer that question?
Oh, absolutely. You answer it. I absolutely let my whole team down. I need to learn to get better in those situations. I'm still growing into this position, but it falls on me. I'm the quarterback of this team, and so I take responsibility for this loss.
He was 9 for 22.
Yeah.
9 for 22. And do you know what he blamed? The wind.
Okay.
You know who didn't blame the wind and threw quite effectively?
Mac Jones.
With noodle arm Mac Jones. 23 for 27.
Okay. Yeah.
It was awful.
Okay.
Now, I will say we couldn't get the running game going. We couldn't get there were other things going on.
Sure.
But Zach Wilson has to take responsibility. The fan base is ready for a new quarterback.
That's part of the gig as the quarterback. You take
Yes.
the responsibility for the loss in that situation, even if it's not your fault. Even if your defense goes out and gives up 35 points, you walk into that press conference and you say, we have to be better on offense.
Do you know who in the press conference took the blame for that game?
Who?
The special teams captain said, we got to be better. We got to make tackles. We got to get that guy down by the – and the punter came out and said, I got to kick that ball out of bounds. I can't put that in play.
Yeah.
How? And I'm like, okay, those are areas you could improve. You got to throw for better than 9 for 22.
Agreed. But yeah, I mean, for those who may not know, the game was tied 3-3. They turned to it on, I think it was CBS.
CBS, yeah.
And I had not followed the score at all. And I'm like, that score's 3-3. And there's a minute 53 left in the fourth quarter. What is going on? So it
was bad.
Yeah, and the Jets were trying to do this dance of like, we kind of want to try to score, but we want to make sure we don't leave time on the clock.
Yep.
But when they punted the ball, there was like, 16 seconds left or something like that?
Something like that, yep.
And instead of kicking it out of bounds, they kick it. And they did directional punt. It wasn't in the middle of the field. It was towards the left sideline. But just poor coverage.
Yep.
Missed some tackles, got out of lanes. Now, there was maybe a questionable block in the back late in that return.
You got to 9 for 22.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
You got to be better than that.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to be better than 9 for 22.
Yes.
And we have the Bears this weekend.
Okay.
At 1 o'clock. Hopefully, a live game here in the northern Indiana area?
Yeah, I would think you got a good chance of getting that one.
I would think so. Yeah. So, but yes, the Jets' defense is incredible.
Yeah.
And that offense is just based upon how high Zach Wilson wants to fly.
Yes. All right. One other NFL note. This got you almost as salty as this loss.
I was so mad about this. I was so excited.
You texted me, I think it was like Thursday or Friday, about this game between the Bills and the Browns. The Bills are going to host, and Buffalo got hit with something like over 6 feet.
Yeah.
Feet
of snow. Yeah. Nick Chubb of the Browns is 5'11".
And so on Friday, I think, they announced, we're moving the game to Detroit.
I was so upset.
Because Detroit, they must have had a road game or they didn't play.
Yeah, they were either on a bye or on the road, one of the two.
And, Detroit has an indoor stadium, and still geographically close enough that people from both teams could make it up there. And I have no idea what kind of fan. But I saw they were selling tickets for like $20.
There was a question mark on whether the Bills would be able to get out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And they did. They got out.
Yeah. So, but that made you quite salty.
Oh, I was so looking forward. I love the heavy snow games and watching, there was 250 yards rushing, 6 points scored, no field goals,
Yeah. Okay. Did you see pictures of the Notre Dame Boston College game on Saturday?
I saw a few photos from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy because the first quarter, I saw this post on Twitter where it showed a picture from the first quarter, looks normal. And then second quarter is looking a little hazy. Third quarter, they're playing in not quite blizzard conditions, but snow and blowing and everything like that.
Squall conditions.
Yeah. And people who went to the game were saying, we couldn't even see what was going on the field. We were up in the stands, could not see what was happening on the field.
Have you ever been to a snowy football game before?
No, not like that, no.
So me and my dad went to it was Steelers-Bears. And
those two teams should play a snow game.
So if you sit in PNC, excuse me, well, I don't know what it's called.
Formerly Heinz.
Yeah, Heinz Field.
I don't know what it is now.
But there's off in the open end zone, there's Washington, I think it's Washington Mountain right there. And you can see it clear as day. In that snow, you could not see it. I could not see the other side of the stadium. All you could see is Jerome Bettis running up the sideline and people just bouncing off him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great.
The bus.
That was cold. It was very, very cold and wet.
Were you properly attired?
Yes. I had many, many coats on.
Okay. Yeah.
A man of many coats.
Of many coats.
And many colors of those coats. And
Yes. So, So they ended up playing in Detroit, and the Bills ended up winning comfortably, I think. One other sports note, obviously NBA and college basketball are underway, but not really paying much attention to them at this stage.
Yeah, I keep getting updates from them, and I'm just
Wait till
really.
January.
Yeah.
Or Christmas Day. I think Christmas Day is kind of because they put 5 NBA games on.
That's right, and they start at noon.
Yeah. Is the World Cup is starting. We're recording on a Monday as we normally do, so actually
the United States plays at 2.
Yes. So right when we're about done here,
What time is it? So in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, the USA will kick off and against Wales.
Yeah. Got some.
I really know nothing about who's good, other than I assume Brazil.
Brazil's always good.
Argentina, Portugal. Are they?
Yeah, Portugal's always pretty good for being such a small nation. The United States always gets bolstered around this time because they want viewers from the United States, but they never do well.
Yeah. Now, see, growing up, I soccer was nowhere on my radar growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Our high school did not have a soccer team until probably at least 10 years after I graduated from high school. So It wasn't even on the radar.
Wow.
I mean, there were youth soccer leagues, but was not really a popular thing.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time I understood that the World Cup was actually a big deal was I was on a summer mission project in Albania in 1994.
That'd have been a World Cup year, wouldn't it?
Yep. And we're in this mountainous village. There's one TV in the entire village in this kind of like bar / convenience store kind of place. Because this is the guy that's got the one satellite dish. And there's it's like a 25-inch sort of color TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt like the entire village was crammed around that TV. And it's not like Albania was in it. But they were just, they were invested in. It's like, okay, this is a big deal. I am in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and a whole village is gathered around a television.
So when I realized the World Cup was a big deal, I think I was probably in high school. I learned that the World Cup was the #1 watched sporting event in the world, which wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah.
I expected the World Cup to be that. The second most watched sporting event in the world is the drawing for the World Cup. That's when I went, okay, this is huge.
Yeah.
Because I expected it to be the Super Bowl, the Olympics, something.
Right.
But the drawing for the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's wild. Also, we should mention Qatar is hosting.
Yes.
A country that until this World Cup did not have an airport big enough to accommodate all these teams flying in.
Yeah.
Nor the hotels, nor stadiums.
Yes. And the whole reason it's in November and December is because of the unbearable heat of the summer.
The climate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because normally this is a summer event. This is normally like a July kind of thing. And they moved it to November because July in Qatar is just insane in terms of temperatures.
Not that I've ever been there, but there are estimates that thousands have died building stadiums, hotels, and extending the airport to make this happen. And it seems to be all because the local Emirati are paying the FIFA, are bribing them.
Yeah. Yeah, the corruption level at FIFA is –
the corruption and the human rights violations are massive.
Massive, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. All right, you ready to move on, John?
Sure.
So in light of it being the week of Thanksgiving, we are just going to talk about gratitude. And, there's a sense in which Thanksgiving is not explicitly a spiritual or religious holiday. It is a secular holiday acknowledging an event within American history that, has been told and retold and no doubt has layers of apocryphal tradition connected to it. But at the end of the day, it is a good thing that we as Christians and as a country in general pause to reflect on things to be grateful for. And actually, before we jump into that, I was going to ask you, does your family or do you have any Thanksgiving traditions? Like, what does a typical Thanksgiving celebration look like for? Now, I know you and Andrea have been married now just over 2 years.
2.5, yeah.
So and there's been COVID in there, so you may not have necessarily fully established what your
a good rhythm
is. But what's it look like?
I think everybody answers this question, well, it's pretty standard. And, so that's the start of mine is it's pretty standard. I think some of the unique wrinkles are I always do the turkey cooking these days. For this past Thanksgiving, I did it for my in-laws for the first time.
Okay. Gotta get that smoker out.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Okay.
And you've never had my turkey because let's be real. Other than holidays, there's not really an occasion to do a turkey.
Right. No, we didn't have – well, we have spent some sort of thing. We've spent the Friday after Thanksgiving
the day
together,
after
but we've not done turkey, like smoked turkey like that. Yeah.
So I always smoke the turkey. There's usually – I've done the whole meal before by myself, which is a lot. I enjoy that. I have a lot of fun. I did it all on the smoker, all those things. It was a blast.
I've had one of your smoked pumpkin pies before.
Yes. I would have brought that to your house for the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Anyway, I really enjoy that and putting it all in the smoker. I think the smoke gives, stuffing in particular, bread soaks up that smoky flavor. Anyway, so I really enjoy that. But normally there's a good bit of football.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good bit of movie watching. There's a game, maybe a puzzle.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a pretty standard Thanksgiving, avid indoors people. So
Okay.
we're not venturing out to play football or anything.
And is there, again, as I mentioned, you've only been married 2.5 years. Is there a standard, like, how do you divide the time up between Andrea's side and your side? Has a pattern emerged?
Yeah. So our pattern is we either do we do Thanksgiving with one side of the family and Christmas with the other, and then we flip the next year.
Okay.
So my brother established that, and we just sort of follow along with him.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you guys? Any interesting?
So Thanksgiving we always spend with my parents and my sister and her husband and her kids.
So you drive out to
To
Napoleon?
Ohio. To Napoleon, Ohio. Yes, that's right. And we have a noon meal. There's always turkey.
Right at noon?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Between noon and 12:30. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's the traditional stuffing and turkey, and sometimes we have ham. Other times not. There's the cheesy potato casserole. So good. And
Who does the cooking for this?
my mom.
Okay.
She hosts, and so she does 90 to 95% of the cooking for that. So, and then desserts. Usually a pumpkin pie, an apple pie, some Oreo dessert.
How many desserts do you usually have on Thanksgiving?
I usually have just one, but
One slice of pie?
I typically actually go for the Oreo cookie dessert.
Okay.
So if I double up, I'll go pumpkin pie and that.
Yeah.
So yes. We do go to Ohio for that. Kate's parents live too far away,
Sure.
and so we always do Christmas with them. And then we just celebrate Christmas with my side of the family. Like a week before Christmas, we'll go up on a Saturday and
Yeah.
have a meal and exchange gifts and that sort of thing.
Nice.
So, always some football on. Occasionally a game is played. So, again, kind of falling broadly into the standard kind of celebration stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So, and Jake's girlfriend, Autumn, is going with us this year.
Oh.
Yes.
Is this the first time she's met the grandparents?
She has met my parents before, but she's not met my sister and her husband and kids.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow. Now, will you guys stop for pizza on the way home?
Now, see, here's the thing. Our favorite pizza place in Napoleon is closed on Thanksgiving. So we can't get
That's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, what we sometimes do is we'll ask my mom to get one the night before, and then, do it that way. But
Okay.
anyway, I do want to talk about gratitude, and I think growing up, you're obviously your parents try to teach you to be thankful and grateful for things. I mean, that's just sort of a basic kind of virtue that even non-Christians embrace as it's good to have gratitude. It's good to be thankful. It's a positive thing. The world's a better place when you show gratitude. But I remember being struck the first time about the importance of gratitude when reading Romans 1. And so in Romans 1, Paul is talking about human rebellion. And it's interesting that he says this in Romans chapter 1, verse 21. He says, "For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened." So Paul does this amazing thing where he basically puts it right at the heart of human rebellion was a lack of gratitude to God. Which, if that doesn't tell you how important gratitude is, then I'm not sure what else will. I mean, we think a lot about, even in our Exploring the Bible class here, when we talk about what's at the heart of human rebellion. We don't tend to talk about lack of gratitude.
Yeah.
We talk about rebellion in general. We talk about idolatry. We talk about autonomy, asserting one's own authority and that sort of thing.
Failure to protect the garden there
Yeah.
in Genesis 3. Yeah.
Yeah, but gratitude doesn't tend to make it on that list, and maybe it should. But it matters to God that we demonstrate gratitude not only to Him,
Yeah.
which obviously is first and foremost, but that we demonstrate gratitude towards others. That we express gratitude to others. So, again, it can seem trite. It's Thanksgiving time. What are you grateful for? Well, it can be done in a trite way, but at its heart, it's not trite at all. It's really important.
Yeah.
So, let's just talk about some things we're grateful for. You want to go first? Throw one out there, and then we can
Sure.
kind of bounce back and forth.
One I'd throw out, and I think maybe the one that comes most easily to mind is one thing that that I've been thinking about for a while is what's next, what's professionally, and so this last year provided me a new job. And so I'm very grateful for that job. And I took that job at a bit of a risk, not knowing who my coworkers or supervisor would be.
Yeah.
And so that's the Lord's worked that out in good ways. And,
Yes.
And so very grateful for my new job and my new coworkers.
Yes. And I will piggyback onto that and say I am grateful that it kept you here.
Yeah.
So that you were able to pursue a new path vocationally.
Yeah.
But still stay here within the Grace family.
Well, could you imagine trying to do the podcast if I didn't work here?
I don't want to contemplate that. I don't want to contemplate that because that would almost certainly put an end to the weekly streak we have going.
Yeah.
Going strong at 151 weeks.
Yeah.
That's something to be grateful for.
Yeah. Is that yours? Is it my turn again?
No. Along vocational lines, I will express just my thankfulness for God's Word, and connected with that, the fact that I get to spend so much time studying God's Word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to do other things in connection with my job, but really at the heart of it is studying and explaining and applying God's Word. What a remarkable way to spend one's life. And to get to do that both individually, privately, in terms of in the study, writing and researching and that sort of thing, but then getting the opportunity to help others see what's in Scripture. What a remarkable way to spend one's life.
I'm in the middle of reading a biography of Martin Luther, a relatively new biography of Martin Luther. And they talk about when he had more menial tasks to do, like writing letters and doing these different things, and how much he just despised it. And how much
he would have hated email.
Yeah, he really would have. I'm not sure he would have been big on the cell phone in general.
Probably not.
But how much he loved to exegete, how much he loved to dig into God's Word and study.
Yeah, and the fact that I get to devote so much of my time and energy to that is something I am deeply grateful for. Let's bounce back to you. What do you got?
I'm going to say my wife, but I'm going to do a particular area, and I'll mention a couple of things. Her diligence. Mm-hmm. So my wife studied for a big test this year, probably more like 18 months, and we just got word she passed. So that was just huge. That was very exciting because she doesn't have to take it again, and so we were very, very excited. She got a very good score, so we were super excited. And her diligence and just I don't have the photo with me, otherwise I'd show you. But this is an audio medium, like maybe 18 inches tall of flashcards with like 6 and 7 things to memorize on each flashcard. Yeah. As well as all the printed material she had to go through and figure out. Mm-hmm. And she was just wildly diligent in studying. Yeah. And you want to know what? That's the person you want filling your drugs, right?
Yes.
You want the wildly diligent person doing that.
Absolutely.
But she's diligent in other ways as well. She is a incredible gift giver. And so have to budget a good amount of money for my wife to be able to buy gifts for people. So
Yeah.
and she's very diligent in the gift giving department.
Yes.
And some of them are being made currently in our house.
Oh.
So she's very crafty with those things.
Okay.
And crafty in the best way possible.
Yes. Not in the way the serpent was crafty.
Yeah. More in like the anyway.
Yeah.
But just my wife's diligence, just very thankful.
Yeah, that is one of her many admirable qualities for sure. I too am going to highlight my wife and highlight her servant heart. My wife is incredibly servant-hearted and very much enjoys serving others, does so self-sacrificially, loves to feed people, loves to host people in our home. We've got two in addition to our own college-age son, we have two other college-aged men living in our house. And she very much has a servant's heart and enjoys hosting people, making people feel welcome and comfortable. And it's certainly one of her most noteworthy character traits. And you have benefited from that.
I was about to say, as a recipient of that for years, I am also
Yes. I have a friend who likes to say, I have the gift of receiving hospitality. Well, my wife certainly has the gift of giving it. So I'm grateful for that. I, along with many others, benefit from that.
Yeah.
You got another one? Let's go one more each because we're running out of time here.
I will mention something that I'm thankful for. Just pretty basic is my new job allows me to travel quite a bit, and I enjoy that. I love getting to an airport and jet setting somewhere and driving around and meeting with people. That's been great.
Airports are fascinating places to people watch.
Oh yeah,
it is remarkable just to sit and watch people.
To put on some headphones and just walk around, and with phones today, you don't have to listen to announcements. They tell you when to board, all those things. Just walk around, watch people. Find interesting things to do at airports. So,
For sure.
I'm very grateful I get to do that.
Yep. I'm going to end with I'm grateful for my students. And this year I'm teaching beginning Greek for the first time in 3 or 4 years, I think now.
4 years. I did the last 3.
You've been doing that for us. And just because of job changes and other responsibilities, I've had to step back in. And one of the great benefits of doing that is getting to carry most of them through the whole year. So you get beginning Greek 1, beginning Greek 2, and then I get them in Greek exegesis 1 and Greek exegesis 2. And when you have that same small group of students throughout a whole academic year, you get to know them a lot better.
Yeah.
And one of the downsides of our academic schedule here is that with the 7.5-week sessions, when you have a class of 25, 30, 35 students,
they're hard to get to know.
It's hard to get to know them, and then you switch. But when you've got a Greek class of 15 students and you've got them all 4 sessions of the year, it's great to get to know them, and it's fun to be able to get to know them academically, but well beyond the academics, and see how God has gifted them, hear about the struggles going on in their life, and how they're trying to trust the Lord through that. I'm grateful for the students that we have. So, well, I think there are certainly we could talk much longer about things we are grateful for, but I think it's probably time to move on, don't you think?
Sounds good.
It is time now for This Day in Sports History.
All right. 1950, before a crowd of 7,021.
Yeah.
The Fort Wayne Pistons classic edge the Minneapolis Lakers 19-18.
Yes.
Wow. Thought that was a typo at first. I thought I jumped into a new year. At the Minneapolis Auditorium, the lowest ever NBA score of 37 points combined.
Yeah.
That was a Zach Wilson-like performance.
Indeed. Yeah, that had to be before the shot clock and probably before the three-point line, I would think, too. So
yes, before I think so. Yes, because
Well, the three-point line was a result of the ABA doing it, right? I think.
Yeah,
and
I think that's right.
The NBA adopted it from them. Yeah.
1966, Florida quarterback Steve Spurrier, wins the 32nd Heisman Trophy Award.
Yeah. Did you know he was a Heisman Trophy winner?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Yeah.
I figured he was like most college coaches and was pretty much a no-name through college football.
Okay.
So, 1986, 20-year-old Mike Tyson, this may not end well, becomes youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history when he stops title holder Trevor Berbick?
I'd go Burbick on that.
Berbick in round 2 at the Las Vegas Hilton to earn the WBC title.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Burbick.
Mike Tyson. Man, what a guy.
What a voice.
Yep. Well, I heard an interview with Mike Tyson probably 2 or 3 years ago, and the interviewer's asking him, like, Mike, I hear something in the back. This is on national radio. What are you doing? Eating cereal? Oh, okay. So, 91, the New York Knicks pay Patrick Ewing a record $18.8 million for a 2-year extension. Honestly, looking at that doesn't seem that bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about proportionality, right?
Sure.
I mean, today an $18.8 million contract would not even put you for 2 years. So you're getting paid $9.4 million a year.
Yeah. That's like the veterans minimum now.
Yeah,
you know?
that's like maybe what you pay the 8th guy on the roster these days.
Yeah. 2008, OSU beats a school 42-7 in Columbus.
That team up north.
Yes, behind 2 touchdown passes from Terrell Pryor and 134 rushing yards from Beanie Wells.
Beanie Wells. Yes.
Yeah, I imagine that game wasn't much worth watching after halftime.
I mean, if you're an Ohio State fan,
Sure.
it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sure. Terrell Pryor, good NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, he had a weird career in that
Yep.
he came into the league, tried to play quarterback, didn't have any real success, and changed. But like you just don't see that.
Yeah.
He changed positions to wide receiver, and I think he had at least one season where he was a 1,000-yard receiving guy.
That's incredible.
2013,
Norwegian Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus.
What did I say, Mangus?
Yeah.
Magnus Carlsen defeats Viswathian Anand to win the 2013 World Chess Championship.
I believe that would be Viswanathan or Viswanathan Anand.
I think I got that like 85, 90% right.
I think you're being a generous grader right now.
I don't think the World Chess Championship qualifies as sport.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I just put that on there to force you to read the name.
Oh, I know.
There's no real serious consideration of that one making it, but
Yeah.
I always have an eye out for the those.
odd name.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so
Got quite a few this week.
who you got?
I mean, I'm probably the Fort Wayne Pistons and the Lakers. If anything, just for the old team names.
Yeah. Yep, I can go with that. I mean, I'd be partial to the OSU beatdown of that team up north, but I can go with the Pistons. I can go with the Pistons. All right, one thing you liked.
The Fort Wayne Pistons.
That's right.
My wife getting word that her test has passed.
Yeah.
We jumped around our living room for about 15 minutes in
Okay.
excitement. So,
that is very
yes.
exciting. I know that was a long haul for her in terms of studying and then waiting because she had to wait.
60 days.
Oof.
60 days. And you want to know what? We were told – so she checked the website Friday afternoon, and it said results will be posted Monday. And then she started getting text on Saturday morning like results are in, results are in, results are in. And we went and checked on Saturday. They were there.
Okay.
So, yes, we were very excited. We got official word she passed.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Congratulations.
So we can relax, and it's good for like 2029 or something like that.
Okay.
So
did you do anything in particular to celebrate? Go out for a nice meal?
Yeah,
have a fine beverage.
We went out for dinner that night. We were going to go out for ice cream, but it was so cold.
Yeah.
We didn't want ice cream. So, we just celebrated that way.
Okay.
Went out to dinner.
Gotcha. Excellent. Well, for me, I was in Denver last week for the ETS conference, the Evangelical Theological Society conference, and getting to room with my good friend Ben Glad.
I think it's funny that you guys split a room.
Yeah, it's fun
at ETS every year.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughter, and getting to go out to dinner. There's a publisher that has started a tradition of taking myself and Ben and G.K. Beale, Greg Beale, and Mike Morales out for dinner on their dime.
That's great.
Yeah. And it's Mexican food. If we can find a Mexican food place, we go there.
I think any time I've been with Ben, it's been a Mexican food place.
He's a big Mexican food
Is he?
fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So meals out with guys like that, and I moderated a session of papers talking about the Old Testament, use of the Old Testament, and so that's obviously in my wheelhouse. So that was fun. And just reconnecting with friends that teach in the guild elsewhere, and having productive meetings with different publishing houses and editors and those sorts of things.
Do you guys vote on things at ETS? Is there like a
there's a business meeting component.
Resolutions?
Oh yeah.
Anything big in that arena?
No, not this year.
Okay.
I rarely attend it because it's often very pedestrian sort of stuff.
I bet.
I'm just not that interested, but. So yeah, it was really, really good, and I mean Denver was cold. It was snowy, cold, but it was just a rich time of catching up with folks, and it's nice being at the conference. And I did some video for Crossway to promote my book that's coming out in February on 2 Peter and Jude. So
nice.
That was fun to do that with them. Crossway's amazing. So. But yeah, that is my one thing I liked. So John, we have talked college football, pro football. We've talked a little bit of World Cup.
Human rights violations.
Yes. We've talked about when the right time is to put up the Christmas tree and discovered the Slotian Compromise.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
We have talked about gratitude, why it matters. We have talked about things and people we are grateful for. We've talked about the lowest scoring game in NBA history. We've talked about your wife passing that important test, and we've talked about the ETS conference. And so I think by definition, we have covered our various and sundry topics. And so all that's left to say is until next time, the Lord bless y'all real good.
Later.